So my name is Tavo De Leon, and where I'm from is South Texas, and I currently live in Austin. But how did I get here? I made my way to the University of Texas, fighting the engineering department there. I decided I would join a startup because I could program, and I've never gone back. I've just been moving forward, and I've moved from the bottom kind of to the top. So I've worked with wafer construction, silicone wafers, to developing my own hardware boards, operating systems on top of it, writing applications on top of that. Then I jumped over to Unix kernel consultancy, where I added a number of unusual things to various Unix versions like AT&T, IBM, Sun. And finally, the bug really hit me hard, which was I was solving all these great problems, but I wasn't doing anything that I could see had an effect on a human being. And that was my crystal moment. And so I said, what's the path that I need to take to solve problems for people? So then I started working for the medium to large integrators who are typically trying to make some type of like a retail system or something that has a manufacturing system with a lot of people using it. And that really made me feel good. I mean, that really got me going. After that, I kept pushing harder and harder and harder to get closer to the problem. And I really wanted to expand my horizons. So I joined a mega consultancy worldwide, 300,000 people kind of place for a lot of reasons. But one of the main one was I could get exposed to the Fortune 100, even 500 in every industry in America. And I could talk with them. I could talk with their developers. I could talk with their directors of development. I could talk with their CIOs. I could talk with their business line managers, their C-suite. And my job was really to start projects off and get them going on the right foot, but also I would come in and fix projects as well. Sure. My name is Tavo De Leon, and I'm the CEO and founder of Nerdy Analytics. Nerdy Analytics is a company based in Austin, Texas, but we tend to move around a lot. We either go where we want to work, or we sometimes go to the customer and spend some time with them and really drill down on their needs. So having been in charge of things for a long time, 70 to $100 million in profit and loss and consulting revenue, there's huge organizations behind that help you. And they do a lot of work for you. You can literally like scratch out a PDF and throw it to somebody, and a couple hours later it comes back to you. And when Nerdy Analytics started up, I found out that that was something that I counted on. So I began a search really, and I started following certain people. One of them turned out to be Lillian Pearson. Probably been a couple years since I first saw her emerge onto the marketplace. She had a certain authenticity that is very rare with coaching, mentor relationships, or people that provide that type of service. And by authenticity, I mean that she's the expert without telling you that she's the expert. And she knows just when to push, and she knows when to reveal, herself and her experiences versus extracting them out of you so you can be a better version of yourself. Making a decision to join with a business coach and try to get that value out of it is a very big decision. And it's just not money. It's about your time. Here you are as someone who's trying to start a company, and you don't have time to figure out the ebbs and flows of how the coaching process works. You need someone who's prepared, diligent, and has done all the forethought so that you can get down to the issues that concern your business rather than the coach's business. So picking her as a coach was actually kind of easy because of the way she framed her business. So the way she framed her business was, after establishing herself as one of the greatest data scientists in the world, doing all this fine work year after year, she really understood that coaches in the marketplace that's out there really don't know jack duty about technology. They don't know anything about technology. And as a result, when you try to explain to them a simple process that's important to the niche of people that you've selected, they're clueless, or you have to spend hours educating them. And that was certainly one of the biggest appeals to working with Lillian Pearson, is that as a technologist, as a data scientist, as someone who's put things into production that's yielding a positive ROI for corporations around the world, she had that point of view of not only I'm a techie and I could be a techie coach, if you want to think of it in those terms, but she had the point of view that no, I'm a technologist. I've taken things from concept, idea, development to production and done it all over again in a very difficult world that's not terribly well defined around data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. You have a way of making it so that I immediately feel comfortable telling you anything about my business or the things that are impeding my business or my successes or my failures. And it's non-judgmental. It's highly professional. You have this unique listening skill where not only do you hear what people are saying, you know how to take that and unpack it and get down to what's the core issue, and then have me or other clients focus in on that, and knowing that that's probably the thing that's really blocking future progress. And it makes it so that that to-do list of 45 things I have, I can prioritize it and get the things I need to get done. That time savings alone is oftentimes worth the cost of anything that Lillian would charge. So when I started Nerdy Analytics, it's a relatively new company. So understanding the quantitative value that Lillian has had an impact on is actually, even in that situation, not that hard to discern. Working with her, you can see where your growth is going to go. You can understand the trajectory of it. You can pretty much sit down and figure out what your revenue would be in the future if you'll apply yourself. And then the other thing that was really difficult for me, where this caused me to grow a great deal internally as a person, and also make it so that it greatly impacted my business, was that even as I started the business, I'd never fully embraced who I was and that business itself. And when that all came together, I suddenly was so excited to wake up in the morning and get going on my business. And I realized there's things that I'd always done for myself that I really shouldn't be doing. So if anything, Lillian's constantly providing you avenues of doing this in a way which is effective. And in the program that I'm in, it's a very different one than other coaching programs, because they have a lot of cost associated with them, because they're trying to get leads through paid social media, basically. And that's not Lillian's approach. She wants to make high quality output towards the niche that you're identified so that they come to you. And that is a very different feeling than saying, oh my goodness, I just spent, $500 with this ad company or that company. How did I do over the last week? And you're checking Google, everything, and all the tools. No, I'm sitting there saying, no, I have to focus on the quality, even if it takes another day, and make sure that when people go to my business, go to my website, all they see is something that they really, really want. I would say is go to her website, read her blog. That's the very first thing I would tell them to do. Second thing is I would say go and read one of the books that she's published and see how she communicates in that way, in an instructional sense. Can she teach you something? And if someone was really on the fence, I'd say, look, here's the last thing you need to do. Go on to LinkedIn and their coursework and take one of her courses, and you'll get to hear her, you'll get to see her, and you'll understand how she's brought technology, professionalism, and ability to project that in a confident way. It makes it so that you feel like, wow, I would be privileged to work with this person. And you might even say to yourself, well, I bet you she's got a list so long I can never get on it. But if you're determined and you have a dream and you're a technologist and you need a coach, Lillian somehow will find the time to get you into the right program and move forward. In my own personal experience, I took a slightly different approach. So I was hunting for solutions of which coaches were just a part of it. So if somebody had a package or this or that I could implement to get my business up and running, that was great. So I started looking at 3 or 4 coaches, and they start to drop off very quickly. When you look at the criteria of, does someone understand, even has the potential to understand my business? Because what I do on Nerdy Analytics is very, very, very complicated for the average person to understand, but it's of immense value to corporations that need it. And so she's able to help you move through that cycle of, you're a technologist, now business owner, and leveraging what it is you have and taking it forward. And I just saw her doing that. I took some early classes or evaluations with her, etc. They were more than cost effective, and I still have that work. I still refer to it, and every day I see new value in it and new insights. The greatest thing Lillian gives you is the ability to look at your vision, refine it, and then as a result, you want to own it. You want to run that business. And that's very different than the outcome of other coaches that I've experienced. Other coaches want you on a subscription forever if they can get it. Now, that doesn't mean they're not dispensing high value stuff, but Lillian would be happy to kick you out of the nest with your business going and get an email every once in a while as to how is it going. It's an egoless approach to coaching. And that is something that is so rare, because when we talk about coaches and mentors, oftentimes we're talking about white males, a little older in the industry, telling other people what to do or what they should do and imagine, rather than here's the suite, here's the tool set, here's the high quality that you need to bring to it. So it's a very different experience. And from what I've learned from her is the whole cycle of listening to my customers and then returning to them with high quality content.